good people? What is going on? Doing a quick video to respond to a couple Instagram responses I had. So one question I asked is, what NBA player needs a ring the most this year? And the second one was essentially just ask me anything and I'll respond to it. So I think I had two responses from each question. First response on the NBA players was from Devin Jaquay. Shout out to you, Devin. Big supporter of the channel. He said that the player who needs it the most is Kevin Durant, because if he doesn't get it, then why do all this? Why go through all this stuff? And that is a pretty interesting one, because there's been plenty of times between like now and the moment James Harden was traded where in my head I thought, like, why did Kevin Durant leave Golden State? Because the criticism or whatever that he got with the two championships that he won there was just like, oh well, you joined a team that was basically already a championship team. This isn't your ring. This is still Steph's team. You might have been the best player on it, but you didn't lead the team. And it's not like you led the team. And even though I do believe he is the best player on Brooklyn, I feel like it's going to be the same type of criticism. Like, well, you joined a super team, and it, blah, blah, like the same thing LeBron got with Miami. And whether right or wrong, but it is a little odd to me that he did that, and the reasoning of leaving Golden State, and then it's just like, but you do the same thing. Like, you partner up with Kyrie, you get the trade for James Harden, like, just odd to me. And the other response was from Grant. Shout out to you, Grant, new follower of the channel. His was CP3, which I do agree with that. I think with just Chris Paul, it just puts the top on his. He's got an incredible resume. Now, he's never been like a scoring champion or anything like that, but I saw a stat of his just impact of how teams look, like their winning percentage before Chris Paul gets there, and then what they look like the first year he gets there. So it is very clear, very evident that he has a huge impact on winning, and that's pretty cool. But it's just, to not have the postseason success that his resume right now lacks is tough. I think I'm not sure it matters as far as Hall of Fame. I think he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And basketball it's the basketball Hall of Fame. So what you do in college counts as well. So, with him having his success at Wake Forest, like, Chris Paul is definitely going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But I think it would be an incredible top to add to just his legacy, his resume, and especially to do it in Phoenix. That would be like something incredible as well. Just a team that went from the 7 or 8 seed or something like that in the bubble. They didn't make the playoffs last year in the bubble, but they were pretty close. To go from that to his first year there, they're now the number 2 seed and would knock off the defending champion Lakers and all that good stuff. It'd be a pretty incredible run. It'd probably make people think, like, if you could do this in Phoenix, how come you couldn't get this done with the Lob City Clippers? But that's neither here nor there. So we shall see what happens. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen unless his shoulder can get right in a couple days, because he's got the shoulder contusion or bruise or stinger, whatever they call it. He's not 100%. So hopefully he can get to at least 80%. I don't think he's going to be 100%, but if he can get to a point where he's just effective, that'd be good to see that series with Phoenix and the Lakers, at least with guys relatively healthy. But we'll see what happens. The next question, I believe, came from Devin, and he asked how many days are left until college football, and I believe we are 93 days away. August 28th is our kickoff date, and I couldn't be more excited. It'll be a pretty exciting season. And we'll see what happens. A lot of new faces, especially at quarterback, which is big. You know, really, you can kind of point to the either best quarterback or the quarterback that plays the best is going to be, you know, a team that's in the running of the college football playoff. So a lot of new faces. I think Oklahoma's going to be a force this year with Spencer Rattler. I think obviously Alabama's going to be a force with Bryce Young. We'll see what else. Clemson, I think number one, they are loaded with DJ Uiagalelei, but like there seems to not be much competition for them in the ACC, and I just don't know any other teams that are equipped to be able to try to knock Clemson off. And will we see the Pac-12 get any type of real traction for college football playoff? Last year they had the 6-game schedule, so with that, if you're not undefeated with 6 games, it's just not going to happen. And I felt early on it wasn't going to happen either way. So we shall see. And the last question was from my man Grant. It was, who do I think is going to win the NBA Finals? And before the finals started, my pick was actually Milwaukee coming out of the East and the Lakers out of the West. I thought with the East would come down to Milwaukee and Brooklyn. And for me, I just felt like Brooklyn is just not good defensively to the point where you can win a championship with that. I think Kevin Durant is essentially an unstoppable force, but the closest thing, the best defender you probably could pick would be a guy like Giannis. And with other guys right now hitting shots and scoring points, Giannis isn't having to score, 40 and 50 points to be able to win games. So I think Milwaukee's good enough defensively to, make it a game. And I just think with the shooters that Milwaukee has gotten around Giannis, Drew Holiday is a phenomenal defender. I just think that I think Milwaukee is a team that's going to come out of the East. And, the Lakers, obviously they've had the injuries, but I still think they're going to come out of the West. As guys continue to play, you'll make sure that you just, as long as you don't have a setback, I think they'll be just fine. LeBron going out of the playoffs before the NBA Finals, it just doesn't happen. And I think I'm at the point where I'm done kind of betting against him. So actually my pick to win the finals was the Lakers. And it would be Lakers over the Bucks. So we'll see what happens, but appreciate the responses, and I might do it again. So thanks. Peace.